people are familiar with the famous verse in Revelation 15:3, where the Apostle John sees in heaven those that have attained victory over the beast and his image and his mark and his name, and they are singing two songs. One is a song of Moses, and the other is a song of the Lamb. Now, we've mentioned the Song of the Lamb last year on our channel, and today I want to mention the other song the victorious saints are singing, the Song of Moses. Did you know there are three songs of Moses in Scripture? One is in Exodus 15, and the other is Deuteronomy 31. Those are very well known. And few realize that Moses actually wrote a psalm. Yes, it's Psalm 90. Our channel is named after Psalm 90, verse 12. And after today's brief retelling of the few events on this week's calendar, my husband Joshua is going to read my translation and commentary on Psalm 90, verse 12. Be sure you watch until the end to hear this. I use the ancient Paleo Hebrew to translate verses and do deep dives into scripture, sharing a bit of them in the videos and much more in presentations to our community members and students who take my courses. This episode is going to give you a glimpse into my work. I teach the ancient biblical language in online courses. Do check out the description for more details if you'd like to learn about it. If you're new to our channel, this is Numbering the Days channel, and it's week 12, 12's calendar episode that you've clicked on, where we review all the events of Scripture through the lens of time. We get fresh insights from seeing the patterns and synchronicities of what's happening in the biblical week. We have taken all the events of Scripture from the Bible and the book of Jubilees and put them all together, linking the dates through time. It's a unique approach found only on our channel. But before we get started, I'd like to challenge you as a member of our audience to read Exodus 15, Deuteronomy 31, and Psalm 90. Tell me in the comments which song of Moses you think the saints who overcome are singing in Revelation 15:3. And also note, if you've ever researched this, where you think the Song of the Lamb is located. Let's have a bit of fun in the conversations, in the commentaries. After this video is out for a few days, I'll add a comment on which song I think will be sung. Thank you for supporting our channel. It really means a lot to us when you click like and leave us comments. It's the only way YouTube algorithms are going to promote our videos to others. So let's get started.
Hello there, this is Joshua, your host for week 13. It's a small week again. Noah is in the last couple of days of his reigning. Isaac gets circumcised. Last day of reign for Noah. Now on the next day, waters go 15 cubits above the high mountains. Test for yourself Genesis and Jubilees on when and where the ark lands. The accounts are different. See Jubilees 5:28 through 30 versus Genesis 8:1 through 5. Genesis 7:20 and Jubilees 5:26 say water was 15 cubits above the tallest peak on earth, Mount Everest, 29,029, in the Himalayas, if it was there at the time. The mountain called Ararat in Turkey is approximately 16,000. Yes, I know people will disagree with me. This is Sierra. However, I have a difficult time harmonizing these two accounts and believing that in a very short time, half of the water volume required to flood the entire earth disappears so Noah can land in Turkey. In my research, I can only believe the ark lands there if it was not a worldwide flood. So I am mentioning here because this is the end of the incoming water and will be the peak of the water's height above the mountains. We will be testing and discussing this in later weeks in depth when the ark actually comes to rest on a mountain. The next day is the Sabbath, a couple quiet days. Then we get a seasonal division day. This is the first seasonal division day this year, the 31st day of the third month. If you have one of our calendar boards or boxes, this is the day you move your day of the month peg into the special hole in the lower right hand corner of the board for the 31st day. Jacob cares for his parents, Jacob, sent his mother and father provisions of clothing and food 4 times a year between the months. Be sure to watch the video coming out this week on what the seed of Abraham actually do, as this will be mentioned in a bit more detail in that video. We're going to explain to you how we get the name for our channel, teaching us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Now in the YahudYath, when my wife does this, she says it says more. Teach us to number our days and establish us in your vineyard, so that Chokmah will enter our innermost heart, bringing wisdom, understanding, and encouragement. This verse has more depth of meaning than most all translation will give the English reader. The only word or letters truly skipped is the nun beit aleph, where nun is a prefix indicating action, and beit aleph is a 2-letter YahudYath root for someone, something, coming and entering in. Either we, numbering our days, are entering into our hearts of Chokmah, or wisdom is. My experience, I would testify, is to very much the latter. And by the way, this is all Sierra, my wife. And the word translated heart is not referring to the physical heart, lamed beit, but the innermost thoughts, feeling, the lamed beit. In Job 28:12 and 28:20, the verses pose the question of where is wisdom to be found. 12. But where shall wisdom be found, and where is the place of understanding? 20. Whence then cometh wisdom, and where is the place of understanding? In Jeremiah 29:13, Yah says we will find him if we seek him with all our hearts. And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your innermost heart. It is this lamed beit in this verse, your innermost heart. So this psalm by Moses is referring to the inner heart we must activate to find Yah. And Moses in this verse says if we number our days, we are allowing Chokmah, wisdom, to enter. The word for the inner heart contains the word beit, which means a gateway or entrance into a house within a house. So the lamed can be a prefix meaning towards, for, and into something. So the place we are moving towards, meeting Chokmah, is at a gate, which is exactly where wisdom says we are supposed to meet her. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. That's Proverbs 8:23. This verse also speaks to the idea of plantings in a vineyard. Numerous verses can be found using the metaphor of our being plants or trees in his garden, such as Psalm 92:12-13. The righteous man will flourish like the palm tree. He will grow like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Yahweh. They will flourish in the courts of our Elohim. My wife making comments. I have experienced personally the feeling of growing roots and reaching upwards. The more cycles, the more years I have been numbering my days, which leads to the comments below on the next word. The more time you spend with someone, the more you get to know them. The word translated teach means to know someone, to communicate, inform, cause to know, to perceive, to understand, to reveal oneself, to discern, and to confess. The richness of this word is experienced as we become synchronized to the cycles of creation, the movements of the heavenly bodies with their rhythms. We become more connected to the seasons of the year and cycles of weather patterns, the rhythms of life, and festivals of Yah and his covenants, and the appointed times of meeting with the Most High. The word translated so at the beginning of Psalm 90:12, Kaf Nun, is defined as right, truthful, honest, to be established, to be firm, stand, pedestal. In Ernest Klein's A Comprehensive Etymological Dictionary of the Hebrew Language. So does not communicate the meaning. As we number our days and move in synchronicity with the heavenly tabernacle, deeper and deeper truths are revealed as we walk in this path of light. We are watered by Yah, and as his planting in his vineyard we become established, firm and upright. The living word comes alive in us. As it grows in us, so do we blossom. The word for numbering in Psalm 90:12 is the feminine plural form of manna, as in the manna that fell in the wilderness to feed the people and was collected each day. This word includes in its depth of meaning musical chords. What has been hidden inside daughters comes out for expression, something built up through singing and connecting to the mark sign of completion. Whether you have musical talent or not, we all appreciate forms of music. Imagine that the heavenly choirs are singing on those appointed times on the heavenly calendar. As you number your days and come into synchronicity with them, you too can hear their music and or sing in harmony with praise and worship. Music is a very mathematical, requiring musicians to count and number every note and breath. Yet it goes even deeper in my research, because the feminine plural ending vav, tav, in YahudYath is a word on its own. It is not just a suffix. Instead of reading plural manna, it can be read as the manna of va-tav, the manna that connects you to the covenant, the goal of your journey. There is so much richness to this word to be shared in YahudYath language courses. I believe the bride follows the Torah, the instruction of Moses to number her days, which leads to a reunion with wisdom, who is no longer is forgotten, but welcome in great rejoicing. Jeremiah 2:32. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. I rejoice in anyone who hears this commentary and responds to Yah and the call of Hokmah in the gates of their inner being. Shalom.
I hope you enjoyed this short calendar video this week. Please like this video. Please leave us a comment. Both the like and the comments really help YouTube to want to share our videos.